You know, it's a bit quiet and dark in here. Why don't we brighten things up with a little music? Now that's more like it! Friendship is Magic has some great music, and I love it. When you consider though that I'm a person who doesn't enjoy musicals and songs of a similar genre and nature, it does say a lot about these songs' quality that I enjoy them as much as I do. Today, I'll be looking at my favourite songs that the series has offered so far. However, I've got to get a few rules out of the way first. Number 1, no songs from the Equestria Girls and Rainbow Rocks movies, there's enough songs there to justify their own list. Number 2, no songs under a minute long because there isn't enough time to analyse them and the clip isn't long enough to make that analysis worth it. And finally, most importantly, a maximum of 2 songs from the same episode to ensure a fair and balanced list. Now before I get on with the countdown, I do have to say this. I don't want Hasbro breathing down my neck because of copyright disputes and everything. So I'm going to have to speak over the songs featured to do so. And you know what? If you want to check these songs out in full, go look at the episodes they're featured in online, or you can click on this little thing that pops up in the corner here, and you can then go to their official YouTube page where the song is put uncut without my voice over it for your listening pleasure. Is that all good, everyone? Sweet! Let's start this thing!
It must be good if Rainbow Dash is impressed. Normally she doesn't even like musicals.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
Twilight! Did you fail?
When I started hearing Twilight sing here, I wasn't expecting anything that would blow my socks off. What I ended up getting, though, was something lyrically fun and unusually bombastic for a song that was full of doubt and worry from the character's perspective. The soft brass and wind instruments really play that mood off well, but it does eventually contrast with the self-absorbed praising that Twilight gives her own accomplishments and achievements, and it includes that amazing maths problem summary, which I have no idea if it's correct or not because my math is awful, so if anyone can tell me, that would be fantastic. While other songs have spoken word breaks in them that destroy their flow, it's done with precision here, and starts the song up again with no problem, reverting back to a doubtful mood, with Spike surprisingly coming in and adding his vocals to the mix, adding an extra punch. They were a nice addition, as he hasn't had the time to really show anything off, and sadly, he hasn't had anything since. And while some may find it unnecessary and just adds padding to the song for no reason, it does make it more memorable, and there's no questioning that. While the song was short and got a success-based reprise in the second part of this premiere of Season 3, I feel this song based around the possible failure was much more fun and well executed, which is why it got the number 10 spot of quite a lot of others in contention for this list.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
Picking a song from Pinkie Pride turned out to be an incredibly difficult undertaking. If you've got Weird Al Yankovic and Pinkie Pie singing all guns blazing in one fun-filled episode, then you know it's going to be a challenge to narrow the songs down. And you know what? I decided against all the fun, wackiness, to pick one of the more tenderer, emotional moments that this show has given. Out of all the songs in this episode, Pinkies Lament stood out. While one of Weird Al's songs was in a sad mood, it was still happy in tone and voice. All of Pinkies are happy, minus this one, allowing it to be a very important song that made me sit up and take notice. Usually Pinkie Pie's songs are optimistic and happy. It is something of interest though to hear her be in a down-tempo, slow, emotional piece such as this, and it really adds depth and integrity to her character. The visual optimism and colour in the episode's animation are contrasted well with the lyrical fears of ostracization and lack of purpose, and it really does target the heartstrings. The soft-plucked acoustic guitar and high-tone keyboards are playing on the viewer's connection with this character, how we know them, and how we should be feeling as she goes through this dilemma. All in all, it works, even throwing in some old episode references to really ram home at how this affects the character of Pinkie Pie and how it challenges her. Her moment of realization, though, though, allowed for a great key change and a stark difference in tone to cap off the song's conclusion. It's suddenly uplifting and optimistic, with a reprise of the earlier Pinky the Party Planner coming in to really add a nice flourish to end this emotional song on. It's powerful, shows the character growth, and it's a real departure from what I'm used to for this character, which makes it a memorable enough song for inclusion on this list.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
The Cutie Crusaders' song repertoire from the first 2 seasons were fun visually, but musically they lacked a lot of punch. Luckily though, things improved immensely come season 3. Bab's Seed came out of the blue and legitimately surprised me. I wasn't expecting something as earworm-worthy as that yeah 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 hook. You have no idea how long it took me to get that out of my head. This song also caught my attention due to the fact that this trio of characters' individual singing voices are noticeably separate and easy to recognise in the harmonies. Sure, it's a little hard to notice on the first few listens, but the difference in pitch and tone as well as the animation should help with that. While a few frames of the animation don't sync up properly, it is still the feather in this song's cap that really makes it stand out. Sure, it was done in their previous ones, but it doesn't make it more apparent than this one. The keyboard-laced hard-strum guitar of its rhythm section really drive home the innocence and hardened personalities of these 3 characters, as well as their antagonist, the title of the song, Bab's Seed, while also creating a head-bobbing melody that you can't shake off whatever you do. Its chorus is even better, being the icing on the cake, which continues that infectious property and just makes it a joy to listen to. What lets this song down is its length. You know, I can understand that they want to get all the descriptions of Bab's Seed that the characters could do as a passage of time done in this song, as they want to fill the rest of the episode with more content, but it just feels rushed to end where it does, and I would have liked it to have ended more cleanly. However, in spite of that, Bab's Seed is a fun little song that just can't stop infecting my brain, and it's a good thing, because it wouldn't have been put on this list otherwise.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
It took them 4 seasons to do it, but with hearts as strong as horses, the Cutie Crusaders were finally in a song that I liked from the first listen. And you know what? Even though the vocals aren't as distinctly separate in the harmonies, unlike Bab's Seed, I can still tell them apart. It just takes a little more work. As a rallying cry for their desire to win, the military-style snare drum beat is extremely fitting, and it's especially good when coupled with the training montage visuals on screen. The guitar riff is softer, providing a contrast well with the other hard-driven areas of the rhythm section, including some really intense strings. The anthemic nature of this song, with really catchy lyrics and an infectious chorus, really perks things up and makes it an incredibly great song to listen to. Hell, even if you're working out, you might get inspired by this thing. It's instrumentally polished, fun, and shows how far these characters have grown over time symbolically, while allowing the episode itself to add more to that. And while this happens early on in the episode, it's memorable enough to give an extra bit of prominence and positivity in the eyes of the viewer. And that's what some of this series' songs can do to justify its listing, especially here. It's cute, fun, and just makes you want to bob your head in happiness. All's well and good.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
Oh, Pinkie Pie, it's hard to fathom that I ever hated your songs in the first season when you keep on pumping out great songs like this in the seasons following. If you want an upbeat, happy song that will, in her own words, brighten up your day, you need not look further than Smile, Smile, Smile. Explaining Pinkie Pie's always exuberant mood and matching it on song to a T, the combination of multiple instruments such as strings, keyboards and guitars give off a massive feel, accenting this song with a driving beat and melody that really blends with the passionate singing, combining to make you all feel warm and fuzzy inside. All in all, you just need to smile when you listen to this song. Honestly, if you don't, I'm going to have to question where your heart is, because something might be missing. Sure, this song does descend into a slightly more tender moment with low-octave piano, symbolising the bad times, and it's obvious no one can stay positive forever, even if you're a hyperactive pink pony. However, It doesn't last for long, building up to the epic multi-vocal crescendo that symbolises the harmony displayed throughout the positive lyrics of happiness and goodwill that makes Pinkie Pie's character so endearing. It's a song that has a lot of charm to it, it's instrumentally great, and has a lovely message within it. Not to mention, it can get inside your head. I mean, what more could you want from this character's vocal appearances? I have no idea what else, but I'm sure it's this. This, Smile, 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 gets the number 6 spot, and it is the definitive Pinkie Pie song. No question about it.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
Season 1 had songs in the first few episodes that just made me shudder. And hell, they still do. That viewpoint changed, however, when my number 5 song came along, and changed my opinion of this program's music forever. Upon listening to Winter WrapUp for the first time, I was in absolute awe. It was so catchy, so fun, and so well made. And I wasn't expecting it at all, so lo and behold, it got into my brain. And I still hum and sing the chorus from time to time. It left that much of an impact on me. To hear this from the song's first full-length musical number, I knew that any prejudice I had against this series' music catalogue from that point on had to go. The nuanced and simple start really builds up the tempo well, making the viewer get caught off guard when the rest of the instruments and vocals kick in. The ensemble chorus harmonies of multiple characters is put together with great layering to emphasise how big the occasion is to all of them. The verses then take a characteristic instrumental tone shift depending on who is singing them, with Fluttershy's being keyboard-influenced calmness, Applejack's featuring hard drums for the militaristic order in which she controls the plough, and of course Rainbow Dash getting upbeat guitar chords to fit not just her personality, but at the pace of which her and her friends clear the clouds. It tops off nicely with Twilight Sparkle's big crescendos at the beginning and the end to round off things nicely for an emotional contrast and creating a nice focal point for a character who took years and a few seasons to reach these vocal heights again. And while this song isn't at the lofty heights that it used to be, it is still the most listened to song in my collection of songs from this series catalogue. And you know what? With that knowledge in mind, I know that every March 21st, when winter comes to an end and spring starts, I know I'll be blasting Winter WrapUp out loud with no worries to be found.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
Season finales in this franchise customarily have big ensemble music numbers to really encapsulate how big the plots are to the future of the series as a whole. Season 3's finale, Magical Mystery Cure, had a lot of songs in it, but one in particular did what a lot of these great ensemble numbers do: showcase a lot of vocal talents on offer and create wonderful moments and memories for the fans.
Now we need your help.
A True Friend may sound really corny with its chorus lyrics and overall message of friendship throughout, which may be a major issue to a lot of people, but it isn't to me, because even with that, I can't help but feel happy at seeing a great musical number turn what was an episode's depressing mood on its head. Not to mention its greatest asset, to build to an epic finish by adding members of the main 6 to the mix gradually over the course of the song's 3.5-minute runtime. It showcases different musical styles for each character, ups the tempo, gives the chorus vocal harmonies that are extremely well done, and ends on an epic Ponyville-wide bombastic conclusion that really makes you want to belt it out of the top of your lungs. The individual verses instrumentally symbolise the character's personality as they all start singing, with Rainbow's up-tempo acoustic guitar, Rarity's uplifting orchestral score, and Applejack's banjos and bluegrass influences. It really shows the regaining of each character's happiness and gives them the mood to really show off their singing abilities. While Rainbow Dash's, though, is characteristically uncaring or out of tune, I can let that slide. Pinkie Pie didn't get her chance to sing in this, but I can tell the ending crescendo of Ponyville-wide vocal harmonies is her doing. Just look at Smile, Smile, Smile if you need any indication on that. When the conclusion is reached, all of these styles shown beforehand have combined together in a musical weave of brilliance that ties up all loose ends nicely. This is an uplifting song that really pulls the episode into good light, and even with the spoken segments ruining the flow a little bit, it doesn't detract much from what is a great song. Even though the episode isn't even finished by this point, it gives a lot of good vibes off, and it symbolises this show's core value of friendship like no other.
I know! just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that? Let's get this party started!
Love is in Bloom is a wonderful music number, blending dance beats with electric guitars, an orchestral score, and keyboard elements to create a magical mood, fitting of its wedding party setting. Twilight Sparkle's singing is minimal, but it adds a really nice sensitive touch that really encapsulates the mood brilliantly, especially after she just saw her brother getting married. It makes a lot of sense and it doesn't feel out of place to be there. Lyrically, obviously describing love is obvious, but at least it isn't overly sentimental and mushy, because that would have really let the song down. And while I do love the song's instrumental and emotional qualities, it's mostly because I listen to the soundtrack version that doesn't contain the major flaws found in the Canterlot Wedding Part 2's original airing, which are the piano intro being low in the mix, the spoken segments by Twilight and Shining Armour overshadowing my favourite riff in the series, and Spike's bachelor party joke ruining the warm fuzzy feeling that the song's vibe gives off, ending the episode and the entire second series on a damp, dull note. And if it weren't for those things, this song could have had a chance at the top spot. However, I'll take the soundtrack version and I'll be content. It'll always be in the top spot for me, and you know what? It's amplified by its number 3 placing.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
To many bronies, This Day Aria Part 1 is their favourite song in the series. Why? Because it shows off a side of this show that no one expected. The dark and intense instruments, the powerful vocal performances on both sides of the aria, and the eerie mood that comes in its full delivery. You know what it sounds like? It sounds and feels like a villain song composed and produced by Disney. And to have a song fit that status in the fans' and critics' eyes coming from this franchise, and this show in particular, I mean, you can't get any more praise than that. The noticeable mood and tone shift when changing from the fake cadence to the real one ties the song together nicely, and you can all thank the brass and string sections for that. The loudness of one contrasting beautifully with the nuanced tones of the other, creating tension and optimism that really adds to the viewer's experience, making them anticipate what comes following it. Vocally, as both characters are technically voiced by and sung by the same person, I have to give massive credit to the vocal ability of Britt McKillip for making this possible and pulling it off, because without this commanding vocal performance, we'd be losing the key asset that really pulls this song above the rest. Also, as this comes right at the beginning of the second part of the Canterlot Wedding Season 2 finale, it immediately makes up for what it was lacking in the first part. It pushed what the series could do musically into unknown territory, and came out sounding magnificent in the process. It's large, intense, and a fitting example of how dark this series can get, and why the musical quality of this program is of the highest quality. It didn't reach number 1 out of preference, however there is no doubt that This Day Aria Part 1 deserves to be this high.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that?
For the longest time, I couldn't pick my absolute favourite song in this series, which proved to be a major problem when thought of making this list sprung up. Time went by with a never-ending cycle of watching and listening, with contenders appearing from every corner. It was really difficult. But after many episodes containing quality songs and musicianship had passed me by, it took the Season 4 finale to give me a song that hit me on a level none of the others could match. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my number 1. While a lot of the songs that you've seen and heard so far in this countdown have been fun to listen to, few of them have actually affected me. In this case, You'll Play Your Part has done that and more. Musically, the song starts out with Twilight Sparkle serenading her worries to the tune of a subtly plucked acoustic guitar with a sympathetic wind section in tow. It meanders for a while, slowly, before the song takes a strong dramatic turn. It hits epic, symphonic symphonic proportions when the royal princesses Celestia, Cadence and Luna start singing, producing great vocal harmonies and individual solo performances that when coupled with some great visuals make a feast for the eyes and ears. And after hearing each of those three sing individually once a season, from 2 through to this song here in Season 4, it's a great audible occasion to hear them all go at once. And when they sing, you're in for something incredibly special, and boy do they deliver, with each being pitch perfect in the process. And while that is all well and good, the main reason, as I have said, as to why this song gets number 1, is the emotional impact the song's meaning had upon me. It's eerily similar to that of which Celestia's ballad from Magical Mystery Cure had when I first watched. It made me realise all that I've accomplished, who was proud of me because of it, and making me realise that I have a place in this world. And even though this song is regal and exclusively feminine in lyrical terms, it doesn't matter at all. I saw my connection, it hit me, and it nearly brought me to tears. Yeah, you heard that right. A song featuring talking ponies in it nearly brought a grown man to tears. That is the power of music, everyone. It's incredibly powerful stuff. And it also shows to me through this song a good example as to why this show has its following in the first place. With these kinds of good messages held within itself, it can benefit the minds of both young and old. And you know what, even if you have problems with the Brony fandom or the show itself, there is no way you can criticise what good it has brought to people like myself through these kinds of messages. Your Play Your Part is absolutely wonderful, and it will remain my number 1 for a long time to come. Unless something from Season 5 does something. So come on, Season 5, bring it on! I want to see you top this! It'll be a hard slog to do so. I have been Freddie Thomas, you've been people watching. This has been a Top 10 Friendship is Magic Songs Countdown for the CC Network, and I will see you all next time. Cheers!